Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5.
Our generation understands this fight.
U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says today will be the most intense day of U.S. strikes on Iran so far. He said Iran had fired the fewest number of missiles in a 24-hour period since the war began. Mr. Hegseth said Iran's new supreme leader, Mujtaba Khamenei, would be wise to heed Donald Trump's message not to pursue nuclear weapons. Meanwhile, the U.S. is looking at options which would enable the military to escort vessels through the busy shipping route, the Strait of Hormuz.
That race to a nuclear bomb, President Trump will never allow it. Not now, not ever, not on our watch. The mullahs are desperate and scrambling. Like the terrorist cowards they are, they fire missiles from schools and hospitals, deliberately targeting innocents, because they know their military is being systematically degraded. On day 10 of Operation Epic Fury, we are winning with an overwhelming and unrelenting focus on our objectives.
Lebanon's president has called for direct negotiations with Israel as part of a proposal to end the escalating conflict with Hezbollah, while sharply criticizing the Iran-backed group for dragging the country into a wider regional war. A spokesperson for President Joseph Aoun said that Lebanon was ready to negotiate, but not while the country remained under Israeli fire. Speaking during a virtual meeting with senior European Union officials, Aoun outlined what he described as a path towards permanent security and stability arrangements on our borders. Israeli officials have shown little sign of backing negotiations, and the government did not immediately respond. The family of a girl critically injured during a mass shooting at a Canadian school is suing ChatGPT maker OpenAI, claiming it had been aware the suspect was planning an attack, but failed to alert the authorities. 12-year-old Maya Gabela was shot in the neck and head in the attack in Tumbler Ridge on the 10th of February and remains in hospital. Van Rootselaar was banned by OpenAI in June 2025 due to the nature of her conversations with the chatbot, but Canadian police were not notified. OpenAI said it was committed to making meaningful changes to help prevent similar tragedies. 8 people were killed in the attack, including 5 young children and the suspect's mother, in one of the deadliest shootings in Canadian history. Madagascar's military ruler, Colonel Michael Randrianira, has dissolved the government unexpectedly, dismissing the Prime Minister and the entire cabinet, according to a statement from his spokesperson. No reason was given for the move. Randrianirina seized power last October from Andry Rajoelina following weeks of youth-led protests on the Indian Ocean island. Rajoelina had been elected president for a 3rd term in a disputed poll in 2023. Volkswagen has said it will cut 50,000 jobs in Germany by 2030, as its profits dropped to their lowest level since 2016. Chief Executive Oliver Blume told shareholders that the cuts would take place in Germany and fall across the entire group, including Audi and Porsche. Europe's largest car maker said post-tax profits had fallen by around 44% in 2025. It said it was hit by US import tariffs, intense competition from China, and high restructuring costs from the shift to electric vehicles. The firm projects a recovery in the coming year, but its finance chief stressed that it would have to focus on rigorously reducing costs. Uber has launched a feature allowing female drivers and passengers across the US to request trips with other women in the ride-hailing app. The feature was piloted in the US last year and led to women feeling more comfortable in the back seat and more confident behind the wheel, according to a statement. The rollout comes despite an ongoing class action lawsuit in California filed by Uber drivers who argued the move discriminates against men. Uber said around 1/5 of its drivers in the US are women, although the ratio varies by city. And the Italian state has bought a painting by the Baroque master Caravaggio for €30 million, one of the largest sums it has ever paid for an artwork. The country's culture minister said the work was one of exceptional importance and its purchase part of a wider plan to prevent major artworks from being bought by private collectors. The painting had been kept in a private collection in Florence and was first shown in public in Rome in 2024. Caravaggio, master of a lighting technique to make his subjects seem to come alive, has around 65 surviving known works worldwide, only 3 of which are portraits.
And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.